The views of the guest are that of the guests and do not represent nor reflect the views and opinions of the Lockoutmen channel, the Recruiter Call channel, nor its host. This site content is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only.
The title of this video, as I'm sure you've seen, is how YouTube and trucking made me homeless. I guess we can start about 2.5, almost 3 years ago.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for listening. And in today's episode, man, let me just sit back and relax and talk to you guys about a YouTuber that I watched already, and I've seen so many reactions on this young lady already. Shout out to Trucker Brown. Shout out to other YouTubers that made their own reactions to this. And I know I'm a little late, but shout out to this young lady, Desiree Donaldson. On YouTube, man. You guys could go over there and check out her channel. Make sure you let her know that Lockoutmen sent you. She made a video about how YouTube and trucking made her homeless. It's kind of crazy that she made a video of this caliber. Today, we're going to jump into her video, her compelling journey, who was lured into trucking by the glamorous sights and sounds of YouTube videos promising lifestyle and financial freedom. Desiree's story begins with the ambitions and sacrifice. She left her home after getting her trucking permit, and she enrolled in her first trucking school, which was Swift, only to face unexpected medical clearance issues that halted her process there.
Hey YouTube family, thanks for joining me. The title of this video, as I'm sure you've seen, is how YouTube and trucking made me homeless. I guess we can start about 3 years ago, before I actually started truck driving. A friend gave me the idea of truck driving, hadn't really thought of it before. Someone put the idea in my head. I immediately started watching YouTube videos. And they made it look so glamorous. Some of those girls that are truckers, so luxurious. And you know, I watched the girls and the guys, all different types of people in the trucking industry. But some of those videos, they showed people traveling around the world, living their best lives, vacationing on each load that they took, and it just looked so wonderful. And a lot of them were living in their trucks. First school I went to, and I say first because there were several, and we'll get into that. First school that I went to, I got accepted by Swift. It's probably good that I did not get my license through Swift with all of the bad things that I've heard about it, and I had a bad experience as well. So I have my permit already, going to Swift, you know, to try to get my license, my commercial driving license, and about a week or 2 weeks in, I already have my medical clearance, my DOT. For any of you that know what that is, for those of you that don't, you have to get medical clearance to be a commercial driver, and I already had that done. And then Swift comes in and says, okay, everyone has to also have it done with our doctor. So their doctor comes in, boom, clears me, everything's fine. They have another doctor come in, I think 2 days later, and I don't know if this would make a difference, but some doctors from different cultures do view things very differently. So my first doctor that cleared me was Caucasian, cleared me, everything was fine. For some reason, they had another doctor come in. I guess that doctor had quit, and they wanted the new doctor to redo everyone's medical. The new doctor that came in was Asian. That doctor did not clear me. That doctor stated that I was obese, which I am a little bit overweight, but he said that I was medically obese and that I had sleep apnea. I've never had sleep apnea, and I've had medical clearance before that because I started with a Class B. I've had a Class B for years, and for years I've been getting my deal.
See, right there is the reason why I still to this very day do not understand all of this extra when it comes to the DOT physical. I never understood that. I don't understand why I see so many truck drivers out here that are way overweight, but they're still driving. But yet somebody like this young lady right here, or like myself, that's kind of at a healthy weight, but a little bit teetering, somebody could just come up here and say, oh, okay, well, we need you to take a sleep apnea test. And I never had sleep apnea. Like, I never stopped breathing in my sleep. I never had that issue, never had that problem. But yet, I go to this doctor right here that says, oh, okay, well, your BMI is at this number and we need to do a sleep apnea test on you. Never had that issue, but yet you want to do all this extra stuff. So the first doctor cleared her, but the second doctor didn't. That to me, that's red flags right there. I would have bounced right when he told me that anyway. I would have said, yo, doc, stop right there. Swift, thank you. Please come again, because I know my health. I know that everything's good to go, especially if it was good to go from the first doctor. They should have just accepted that. But then they brought her back in after said doctor quit. What was the reason for the doctor to quit? Why that doctor quit? And that you had to bring somebody else in to redo everything that he did, only to get blackballed. So after that incident, undeterred, she decided to go to CR England. But unfortunately, at CR England, and before I continue with CR England, I always thought CR England just give anybody their license. But in her situation, her dreams of becoming a truck driver again got derailed when she was falsely accused of failing a drug test.
Now, mind you, I found another school to go to. Next school was CR England, another school that, you hear not so great things about. But okay, my friend that originally told me about trucking, he'd went to CR England. He did say his experience was not the best, but, I could go there and get my license for a low cost. You drive for them, you pay it back by driving for them. Basically, they will give you a loan. Okay, so I try that. I go to CR England. Rewind a little bit. You also have to get drug clearances when you become a commercial driver. So Swift did a hair follicle test and a urine test. Mind you, I don't use any drugs. Only medication I take is for hypertension. I barely drink. Past that with Swift, flying colors, my hair test, my urine test, of course, everything. Now, here comes, this is about just a few weeks later. I'm in class at CR England. We're starting to drive a little bit already. Things are going well. So I think CR England comes in, starts to call people out of the class. They call me out of the class and say that I need to call this number they give me a paper for. It's a few of us. Guess what they say? Frickin' joke. That I did not pass my drug test. That I failed my hair test but passed my urine test. Or either it was the opposite way. No, it was passed the urine test, failed the hair test. Now how's that possible when I just passed with Swift? And they said that it was marijuana. You guys, I am in my late 40s. I tried marijuana. I don't smoke marijuana, just at all. I don't eat any edibles. I don't have anything to do with marijuana. So come on, CR England. I asked them, can they redo it? They refused to redo it. I told them that there was no way that could be in my system. They didn't care, asked me to leave the school, and someone said that I should or could have possibly, taken that to court and fought that.
Now, a lot of people would come online, especially in your comment section, and they would turn around and say, hey, you should fight that in court. Hey, you should file a lawsuit. Hey, you should get a lawyer.
So if you want to make more money and keep the money that you make, better call Saul.
Let me just kind of interject with that. Now, it's already a situation that's going on with this young lady as far as her finances being kind of dwindling. And she already left her home and gave that up, which I don't think you shouldn't have did that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? You should always have that as your fallback, because there's no guarantees with these so-called sponsored trucking schools like Swift or CR England, because anything liable to happen. You can get there, they can just say anything and just kick you out of the program and just leave you high and dry with nothing to show for it. So you're good to go at Swift as far as the hair follicle test and the urine test, the drug test, but you're not good to go over here at CR England while taking the same tests? Or you're good on the urine. That's why she was not put in the SAP program, because her urine passed. Just imagine if her urine didn't pass. Then she would have been in a whole nother situation with going through SAP and all of that mess. But luckily for her, her urine passed, but her hair follicles didn't pass. So you mean to tell me she used marijuana in her teens? This young lady in her 40s, her late 40s. You mean to tell me you went back 30 some odd years to find a trinkle of that in your hair follicle? Are you can't be serious right now. And unfortunately, because of that, she did pass her urine. That's not an issue. So she's not considered a SAP candidate. But she didn't pass the hair follicle, which they can reject her on that. Can she take it again? She asked. It was like, no.
Bounce.
Bounce, homie. Get on up out of here. And that's crazy. That's crazy to hear. She passed the urine and hair follicle at one company, but unfortunately at Swift, they didn't clear her for her medical because she needed to take a sleep apnea. But over here at CR England, she was good to go on her physical, but didn't pass the drug test? That's crazy. So of course she felt some kind of way. I would too. It's crazy how you would get accused of doing drugs and you don't. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But her perseverance did pay off at the end when she finally earned her commercial license at CRST in Riverside, California.
So I applied for another school, get my license with this one, CRST. Great school, love them. CRST in Riverside, California is where I did get my trucking license. Go there. Now, mind you, remember CR England said that there was stuff in my system. Swift, I had just passed. Then I go to CRST. I confidently take another hair follicle test and urine test, and of course, pass that one. So CR England, if any of you guys see this, you guys are full of bullshit. Because to say that someone has drugs in their system and they don't, it's total bullshit.
I agree that being in financial situations, it's easier said than done than getting a lawyer to try to fight a battle that could potentially drain you mentally, physically, and financially.
At this point, I'm with CRST. I get my trucking license. I think things are going well. I go out with my trainer. That was a good and bad. There was some nightmarish days with that.
Despite having positive experience and finding a driving partner for her to team, that proved to be challenging.
I'm in training now. Training was a month. So I'm on the road for a month with my trainer. And the catch with CRST is that you have to drive in teams. I don't know anyone there. I don't know anyone that I want to drive with. Ended up meeting a friend there. We're still great friends. Hey, Cece, if you're watching. We were going to drive together, but the truth is neither one of us were really ready. So at this point, I leave CRST. I actually stayed out with my trainer a little longer because I did not have a team partner to drive with. I'm driving with CRST about 2 months. And then I leave them, I find a trucking job.
Team driving has its ups and downs. If you're team driving with somebody you actually know for a while and they pretty much know you and them, it makes it easier for you to drive with them. Drive with your mother, brother, cousin, husband, wife, son, daughter, know them, right? So it's going to be easy to drive with them. But team driving with somebody you don't know has its challenges. Believe me, I know. At one point in my trucking career, I was asked to team drive. You can make more money team driving. You stay out for over 45 days, you'll get an extra boost in team driving. I kind of entertained that for a little bit. And I said, okay. So what that company did, they gave me a list of people that was interested in team driving. You call them up and you have a conversation with them to see if you mesh. It's like dating. You look at their profile, you look at their picture, you read their profile, and then you call them up to see if y'all click. A lot of these drivers that they gave me on the list didn't click. A lot of them was guys and maybe a few females. Now me, I wasn't interested in the guys. I'm good on that. Don't want no hard legs in the truck. But I did entertain one guy and one girl, and I didn't feel nothing with them when I was talking to them on the phone. We both have to have the same ideas when it comes to team driving. And when it comes to team driving, we got to be on the same page. When it's time to go home, we have to be on the same page. When it's time to make that money, we have to be on the same page. I cannot be on page 1 and then the team driver be on page 10. It's not going to work. So that's why I never went teaming. But with companies like CRST, Covenant, I believe, is another company that requires you to drive teams. You got to fit in that mold because both of y'all are going to be in that truck for quite a long time, and y'all got to put y'all trust in one another. When I'm back here sleeping, I got to trust you to the point of you driving safe and getting us to where we need to be. And that's in vice versa. Not only that, you got to put your life in that person's hands, you also got to make sure that that person is mentally stable. There's a lot of fucked up truck drivers out here. Ain't no telling that you could be team driving with a serial killer. You could be team driving with somebody that got mental deficiencies. You could be team driving with somebody that just had family issues, break up with their wife, somebody pass while they're on the road, and then all of a sudden they mind is so messed up and they're not paying attention, and then next thing you're in an accident. And it's not even your fault because you're in the back, but you have to rely. You have to put your life in that driver's hands when it comes to team driving. That's why I said in the beginning that when you're team driving, it's best to team drive with somebody for a while. Not somebody that you just met, not a boyfriend, not a girlfriend, because y'all could get that first argument. One of y'all gonna have to get dropped off at the truck stop and find your way home. Seen plenty of videos of that. Boyfriend and girlfriend get into a huge argument. Boyfriend kicks the girlfriend out and leave her stranded at a truck stop or at a rest station. You don't need that. When it comes to team driving, you guys got to be on the same page, and you guys have to have the same deals. Now, as for Desiree, as you guys heard, she did leave. She decided to continue her journey with Snyder. Now, unfortunately with Snyder, her situations with them was marked by severe anxiety over backing maneuvers, which eventually led to her departure from Snyder.
I find a trucking job, get with that job, and totally sucked. You want to know why? I couldn't back to save my freaking life. So I decide, okay, I need some more training. At this point, I go to Schneider. I'm hired by Schneider. I'm like, okay, I need some more training with my backing. I go to Schneider. I do end up driving for them solo. I'm on the road for about 4 months. So I'm on the road. Remember, I have no home to come back to because, you know, in my mind, it's so glorious. Watching the YouTube videos, I'm going to be on the road in my truck, making so much money, saving the money because I'm not paying rent and, you know, blah, 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 all that. I'm with Schneider for about 6 months. Their plan that they had for me, I believe, was 34 days out and 4 days at home. It was something similar, something like that. That sucked. At this point, I'm with them for the few months. I'm still not getting my backing down like I should. And I am anxious every time I back. Just about every time. We're gonna say 70% of the time, because there were some times that was really good, got it right in, you know, nice open space. When it's open space, I'm okay, I'm good. But there are a lot of tight spaces going into, a lot of my loads were in California and LA. Sometimes you gotta back in off the street, and I can't do it. My anxiety would just shoot up to 10,000. And after so many months with that, I was so anxious. I just couldn't do it anymore. So mind you, remember, I ended up leaving there, trying to find a local job, and I stay with a friend at this point.
Backing. See, unfortunate, Desiree, you didn't have the right training. at CRST. I don't know how you was trained over there, but the trainer should have trained you in backing. My backing situation was horrible at first, but every time we got to a truck stop, I was backing. Every time we got to a shipper and receiver, I was backing. That's what the trainer should be doing when he's training. You probably know everything else at this point. How to drive straight, how to left turn, right turn, all that good stuff, but you needed more time for backing, which the trainer did not give you over at CRST. Now, when you guys get with a company and they do train you, make sure you have that trainer to just focus on backing. Because like she said, California, Los Angeles, Florida, up in the Northeast, there's going to be plenty of backing challenges for you. You're going to be backing in tight spaces. You're going to be backing off the street. You're going to be blindside backing. Backing is an ongoing learning experience, in my opinion. I'm still training myself in backing, and I've been driving over 10 years. Every time I get into a truck stop, I blindside when there's space, just to keep myself fresh. And that's what you should do. Trucking is a relationship. Backing is a relationship. You should continue to do it even though that you don't think you need to do it anymore. You get into a truck stop late at night, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and it's only one space left, and it's kind of cat-a-corner to get into. Now, think of it this way. Me, at my big age, I'm not going to try because I can always find somewhere to park now. Been driving this long. But for you new drivers, just like her anxiety is up, you just got to make sure that you get out and look every time, especially if there's nobody to help you. Now, a lot of the times, a lot of drivers, some of the guys like to get out and help some drivers, and particularly females. They like to get out and help. But of course, let me stop the show for a second, because I do have this from a young lady that says she don't need your help.
Male truckers, this video is for you. I have a question. Why, when you guys see a female truck driver, y'all feel obligated to help, or y'all feel like y'all need to come out and be the top coach of the year of CDL driving? Nobody asked for your help, number one. And number two, give me some time to get the freaking trailer into the spot. Y'all have a prejudgment already that, oh, she ain't gonna get into the spot. And then y'all come out of y'all trucks with your big beer bellies saying, oh, complaining.
A lot of guys do get out and tend to lend a helping hand. And I understand her side too. Her side is, okay, well, at least let me try to get in before you get out and try to assert your helpfulness. But that's what a lot of drivers in some situations, like if they see you backing up next to their truck, especially your owner-operator, he's definitely going to get out of his truck and make sure you're not going to hit it. And I get her. But come on, young lady, that aggressiveness need to come down. Bring it down. Bring it down just a little bit. Because not all truck drivers got beer bellies and stuff like that now. Come on. We ain't saying nothing about you. I'm just saying. But as this young lady right here comparing herself to her backing situations and don't want no help and is mad because the male truck drivers is not giving her a chance to get into the spot, back over to Desiree, she has super anxieties about backing. And I'm sure she would welcome the help. She would definitely welcome the help. If she was to have a little bit more training, then her anxiety would be down just a little. Well, with all of that, Desiree found herself without a stable home, of course, relying on friends, family, and temporary accommodations while taking on various warehouse jobs. After joining another trucking company, with that company, she faced low pay, inconsistent work, and high living expenses over the road. And all of this because she thought that she was going to be making all this money. She thought that she was going to be living a glamorous life, only to get the shocking reality of what trucking is really about.
I go to stay with my friend. Stay with my friend for a while, end up getting back into actually a regular job. Went to a warehouse. My friend worked at that warehouse as well. So at this point, he has to move because he has no job. I have to move because I'm staying with him. I have no job. At this point, I'm staying in hotels and staying with family members. And the hotel, after a few months, I get another trucking job. I'm with that job. This is the one that I just recently left that I was telling you guys about. I'm with that job and I don't even know how to describe it. The job was kind of cool. The dispatcher was horrible. Hated the dispatch. They ended up changing dispatch after a few months. And the new dispatch, we did not vibe at all together. He talked to me like I was his child. I was not vibing well with that at all. Let the owner know. Of course, nothing changed. And I just was not cool with that. And besides that, a lot of people know a lot of trucking jobs, you kind of get paid weekly. This one was bi-weekly. And let me tell you guys what I was making bi-weekly. Why I did recently, it's been maybe almost 2 months now. Why I left that one. Bi-weekly, I was making $800. It's $400 a week. Trucking, $800 every 2 weeks. That just wasn't really flying well with me anymore. Being out over the road, state to state, and most of the money was being spent on eating and then hotels, because some days dispatch would not have a load for me for maybe a good 4 days. I think 5 days was the longest I didn't have a load.
Well, that's trucking. See, a lot of the stuff that people going to show you on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they are going to show you the good side of the things. They ain't going to never tell you that you're going to be sitting, that you're going to have messed up dispatchers. They ain't going to tell you that they had to get out and wait on the side of the road for breakdown. They're not going to tell you that they was detained in the shipper and receivers for hours on end. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to just try to tell you everything, how glamorous it's going to be. Oh, just put on some makeup, get in front of the camera and just talk about how happy-go-lucky trucking is. Oh, you're going to see the world. Oh, I've been here, I've been there. They're not going to tell you that the world that you're going to see is truck stops, shippers, receivers. And then maybe you might get lucky on the 34. You might be able to explore a city or two. But even with that, you too tired. They're not even going to show you none of that. Unfortunately, you came into it thinking that it's going to be all great because of what you saw on YouTube, TikTok, and the rest of the social media outlets. Now, for Desiree, she has no house. She's spending all her time in hotels, which costing her a lot of money. She's not getting reimbursed by the current company that she's getting paid every 2 weeks by, $800 for every 2 weeks. That's just diabolical work rate. You got me out for like damn near a month and I'm making $800. I understand I'm a new driver, but god damn it, man. Every 2 weeks? I can understand $800 a week, but $800 every 2 weeks? That's just diabolical work, man. Whew. But as you guys heard, if you guys want to see this video without my commentary, definitely go over to her channel, Desiree Dawson. Shout out to her. She reflects on the overly idealized portrayal of trucking on YouTube that influenced her decisions. She seeks self-employment opportunities now as she juggles gig work and other warehouse jobs. So again, much success to this young lady. I hope everything works out, but this is just a tale of how people get so influenced by watching all this quote unquote truck trend, and they get so enthralled into it that they going in with so much empathy, talking about they're going to make all this money. It's going to be a great thing. Just throw away your past life so you can start a new life without even understanding what you got to go through when you get into this trucking industry, man. Until next time, everybody.